Okay, guys, I'm live. This is clearly a bit of a bust. Um, doesn't mean it's not going to go up, but it is one of these sort of like, don't touch this. You don't know where this is going to go. I want to try to get this mic working. A little disappointed. Yeah, of course. I like to play these, but I'm going to kill myself again over something crazy. Here. All right, guys, let me know if you can, please. StreamYard, where's the... Okay, canceled my order too. They're going to take this live really at an insane level, so I don't see how we can make money here. I don't see orders up above, up above 45. I see a lot of orders in the 23 zone. So this is not something that I want to mess with. It's reminds me a lot of JZXN. It might open up and go to 50, but there's just not a lot of volume to begin with. This is not something that I want to get into. So gonna cancel my order. It's too bad. These clearly a stealth IPO, but this is the way these go sometimes. Sometimes they go start out really high and then just sell out on the way down. That's another way for them to accomplish their goal. Yeah, we're not invited to this party. This is a, if you got IPO shares somehow, I don't know. I think they did have an allocation request there on, they had an allocation request, I think, on Webull, but let me type some notes here. Pricing. Health call was correct, but no room to play this. I'm going to tweet this out real quickly. TKLF. Spot on with TKLF stealth IPO call, but they're debuting this at 45 and not worth the risk. Reminds me of JZXN. Opened at 45, halt up to 50, and then down from there. Well, goes up. Good luck to those who So yeah, only 5,000 shares. So this is kind of like what we saw with JZXN, but also a bit like what we saw with AERC. So maybe you're thinking, if nobody's going to sell their shares, maybe this goes up, 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 up. Okay, so let's do a little, risk, upside, downside risk analysis here. The upside, maybe they shove this up to 100. They're bringing it down a little bit now. The buy side or the sell side imbalance, okay, down to 42. It's just super risky. Okay, I will. What's a fun? Let's just get involved here. TKLF. Maybe we buy what, 20 shares at 40, 39 at what, 45? So yeah, 25 shares. Let's try just a little, just have a little fun with this. If we lose a couple $100, we lose a couple $100. Let's just see what we get. So there's still a heavy sell side imbalance. So maybe this price comes down, but it seems like nobody's wanting to sell for less than 43. It seems that the share price is kind of locked there on the ask. Now we're seeing 42 with only 360 shares paired up. If you go in with a big order at this point, you're going to skew everything. I mean, if you go in with, try to buy 5,000 shares right now, you're going to set that sell. You're going to be the the buy side imbalance. So really don't try to be the hero. Recognize the setup. This is a very risky play. I don't see bids justifying this, a likely run up. I see this as likely dropping down to 22, 23. But then again, we are seeing the, so I'm going to bring it up over here to TKLF. The chart over there goes a little bit differently. But yeah, we're seeing this likely going live at around 40. All right, somebody's willing to sell 3,000 shares for 40. Now they've hidden the crossing completely, which we've seen before in the stealth IPOs. And now we are sort of flying blind. They like to kind of scare us off, it seems. So this is where I'm tempted to do something like set a trade down at something realistic, like $9 TKLF. So let's see if we could get 11. Okay, let's try like 1,200 shares at, just in case they are doing something weird. Don't forget that you had this. Oh, there it goes, 36.89, and we're live. Opened at 40. We're already down into a halt, and we are probably just going to halt down for a while. This did not work out. We didn't do a big play, so we'll lose a couple $100 on what maybe sort of could have done something big, but nope. This was just like JZXN. It just opened up, dumped, and that's all she wrote, folks. If you took a gamble, anybody gamble on this? I can't say that it was a big gamble, but I will just step out of this dog crap while I can. I went in for 25 shares. I'm going to close them out at whatever I can get, really. I think this probably opens around 20. I don't care. I just want to get out. So I'll take my whatever damage I take and call it a loss. But you don't play these big. Halted down on 1K volume. So the question is, do they turn this around? I'm going to stay in this. Why not? I can only lose $1,000, whatever. But yeah, that was the stealth IPO that goes the wrong way. We've seen these before. Screw it. I am not going to cancel that. At some point, you have to wonder, all right, we haven't seen any volume yet. We've seen 620 shares. Is that it? Yeah, make sure that if you put any orders in that you've canceled them out. This is going down to the 20s, I would say. So got this at anything out now. I don't believe it's such a weird readout. 28. Nobody's really selling. No one's really buying. Okay, somebody's buying 36. Most of the orders look like they're down at 20. It's just such thin volume that, given what I've seen these do before, I just don't see this going well for anything. They could turn it around. They could flip it back up with nobody selling their shares. And what we saw on the debut was nobody interested in buying at that price and everybody willing to dump. So Let's check the chat real quick. Gambled $4.22. It's different than Sea-Doo, partly because, I think actually we bid up Sea-Doo to where it went. This was just a clear manipulation play. They didn't. This is much more like a stealth IPO, setup that I've seen before. Like I said, JZXN did this. I forget what the other one was, but there have been a couple where they've just basically said, "Look, we're moving shares, and you're not. We don't want you here. Get out. Go away." So again, nobody's really selling volumes. Not a lot of shares. Not a lot of volume here. I don't know that we see a reversal. These tend not to, but anyone who got IPO allocations that can dump will probably be, that didn't already, probably going to dump here. But that was pretty crazy. That was, the volume was, 620 shares, and it dropped. So could this turn around? I doubt it. Don't leave your orders open. I don't know which way this goes from here. Would have been awesome if they let us get in at 22, like 15, and then ripped it up. But that was not for today. The other one turned out intraday not to offer much of a turnaround. I mean, you're trying to catch bottoms on a halting, dumpster fire. So the play here is they are trying to drop shares. This is definitely something weird. We were right about that. You call the stealth IPOs, but when they get spotted, I can't imagine that retail buyers were the ones who pumped this up. I believe that this was an inside job. I believe that this was something that you didn't really want to touch. Once you saw that debut, for me, stealth IPOs are to be played only if the setup is, offers you the chance to get into it, then go ahead and do something. If I'm going to try to edit this real quick. Give me a second, because somebody wants to come and watch this. My channel. Should put a thumbnail up here. Manage videos. Sorry, I got another screen going on here too at the same time. The market seems to be coming back a little bit. Live, we got to get something up here. Details. Maybe get like a thumbnail or something. Visibility, subtitles, blah, blah, blah. Playlist, thumbnail. Upload this thumbnail. YouTube. There we go. Sorry guys, just felt a little naked there with no so still not getting any action there. Still hasn't added my thumbnail. Changes saved, says it has. Don't worry, I'm coming back. All right, I'm here. CISO, I mean, we like this for a possible run today. If you could get it down under 555, it's now broken that point. I was not playing on. I wanted to focus on TKLF. Sort of wish now that I'd gone the other way with it, but oh well. CISO, just keep in mind that the IPO closes in on the 19th, I believe, and that there's according to the S1, it looks like there's about this is going to get ugly for TKLF. CISO has 160 million shares outstanding by my count. That's 125 listed in the S1, and then I count another 25 million from acquisitions that they made in the last year, and then another about 8 to 10 million in other miscellaneous allocations to the underwriters, to other parties. So that one, to me, today I think is the day to catch the rip. By the 19th, I couldn't get a clear sense of when the float becomes 150 million shares. And right now, the float, we believe, is 2 million shares. So this is pretty thin volume that I'm seeing on CISO. Uh, you know, less than 10,000 shares per minute. I would be a bit, you want to be careful there. I played 25 shares and I'm out on this. Dollars. Well, on the other side of the market, things are not as bad as they were in the pre-market, so that feels a little bit better. Let's see, bid 5K at $4. Got some BBJG to make the day interesting. How did the other one turn out? Okay, I think we'll stay in this for maybe 30 minutes or so here and track this. We can talk about other things if anyone wants to go over anything. There are some other IPOs on the schedule this week. The June's looks like that got moved to tomorrow. It's kind of an interesting looking biotech with 3.3 million shares. We have NSTS, which let's look what that one is. Got scheduled. It doesn't look too interesting. VDNT, which does look kind of interesting, got pulled. It doesn't seem to have a reschedule date on it. And FSPR is just some kind of real estate investment trust REIT. RHDM this is on Thursday, is a Bitcoin miner. I don't think you can touch that right now. Then we have Friday brings us two that are somewhat interesting. We've got FGI and SMSA. FGI is a 2.5 million share float that has some connections to China, but I'm not convinced it's a true stealth setup. The underwriter behind it has not done tends to do kind of mid-tier IPOs. They did a Sport Radar. They did a few others that were, nothing particularly, stealthy or shady. Kind of, I think they might sort of actually be trying to become a more legitimate financial institution, and nothing too exciting in that. SMSA is kind of one of these medical technology for vision, as I understand it. 4.16 million shares. Might do okay, given that traders might be looking for something low float to play, but I think those traders will go towards FGI. SMSA looks like one of those IPOs where let it trail off for a little bit, and keep an eye on the quiet period expiration, and then consider getting in on the on the headlines that come once the QP expires. So we're getting quite the halt here in TKLF. I'm going to just check again exactly what time that halt went into effect, because always interesting to keep track of. Okay, we got 13 people watching. That's all right. TKLF. Let's see on the trade halts. All right, 10 o'clock, and now it's 10. So we're looking at. Sorry, got to tell someone. so expect this to go live on a 20-minute halt. My expectations on this are that it opens at like 20. So I'm gonna get out and take the managed to absorb a couple $100 loss on this. Oh well. You guys, anytime you see, I got killed on CDU, as you all know, and the problem was I simply ignored the wisdom of not taking the risk when the price is ridiculously high. While I think that the metrics behind that were a little bit different, I think that was actually retail traders just getting too excited. And we saw that the volume there were a couple 100,000 shares traded in that opening minute on CDU, whereas TKLF we're seeing, what was that? A few thousand shares. This isn't the same setup, but anytime you see a $4 IPO debut at $45, if you have shares, sell them. If you got IPO shares, you probably want to get out. And if you are playing this as a retail trader, you go look for something else. Go look for something, I don't know if I'm doing Benzinga today. 12:30. All right, I will send out a tweet about that. We are okay. So TKLF opened at 42.99, and that is going to be 20 times 25. I'm going to take a bath on this. 20, 25. Yeah, just threw away $500 to just to see what would happen. That was maybe not a great play, but oh well. Yeah, Benzinga at 12:30. I will post the links pretty soon here. But the lesson learned today, again, was don't touch these stealth IPOs if they are blown up before they go live. These are interesting to watch, take notes, learn from, but free float from page 3 of latest filing, approximately 30 million shares freely tradable. Okay, and we know that about 70% of the float on CISO, or the total shares outstanding, as I understand, are controlled by the CEO and one other person. So, yeah. CISO, I generally would like to know more about whatever position I am playing. In pre-market, that those kind of 5, 10 and below, those trades were maybe interesting to take a gamble on, but otherwise I don't really see the point in taking a risk on something at that level. Sort of like find something where you really have a better understanding of what's going on, rather than trying to for me anyway, one of the disciplines I'm trying to improve is sticking to the trades where I really like the setup and not getting sucked into trades where I'm sort of liking the setup. So I really like, Inspira, for example. So if we get any kind of further drop, I'll just keep adding to that. I like companies like Sentinel One. I like companies, the chip companies, they keep, reporting solid earnings and coming up from their dips. And I think that's sort of where we're at in the marketplace right now, is that anything that's young, like a young, fresh IPO, like SKYT, I'm down on that position, but I like the position because I like the company. We saw a number, in the last kind of 2 weeks, we've seen, I forget who it was today, but another kind of small chip maker reported good earnings, and the share price rose. So we're at a position where the market's kind of punished anyone who's unproven, but I think they're being given a chance to prove themselves with this next round of earnings, and companies that come out with strong earnings are going to get boosted, and companies that don't are going to get kind of maybe already near the bottom. So I don't know how much more room there is to punish them. looking back over at TKLF, I'm seeing that we have, let me just switch this. Then you got to toggle this to get the, I wish they gave us a better, something better to read here. There's nothing here in the Noe crossing, and these kind of buy and sell orders are a bit difficult to pair up. If I look at the low sell orders here, these seem to account for kind of in this 25 zone. So I would think, perhaps this goes live at 25. Gonna have to just do my own visual balancing here, but I'm not expecting this to turn around really. And history as the benchmark, I'm going to say this finishes the day at like 10, something like that. No price on it yet. TKLF debuted at 40, basically 43, dropped down to a halt at 36.89, and looks to be continuing in that direction. It's funny because on one chart, all right, we're about to hit that 20-minute mark, so let's see if it starts moving here, or if they're halting it longer. TKLF was 10 o'clock and 58 seconds. We are now at 10:21. So clearly this looks like we're doing more than a 20-minute halt, unfortunately. I think someone said before that indicates something bad, but hold on, let me see what's going on here. Cancel my food. Okay, checking in. I think everyone who's paying attention here is, I don't think anyone's in the Reddit chat right now. So if you are, I will post a little note here if you want to. We're over in the YouTube stream. Hoodie was a recent stock to multi-halt down, but then reversed. Hoodie took a while to reverse, and I believe the debut on Hoodie was like $8. So yeah, you can watch these, but I mean JZXN is I think the closer comp, and I just, again, I'm kind of gonna lay low for a bit and play IPOs that I really like and like the setup. And otherwise, I have my sort of, recognizing that I tend to buy the dip too early, but I have a position in Sentinel One, down around where we're at right now, and otherwise, I'm kind of hoping that things don't fall too far before they turn around. I like. Everybody knows I like IINN. I like, trying to not spread my portfolio too thin right now. Yeah, so some of the others, Hoodie was a recent stock. There have been a few, and certainly this underwriter gave us, I look back on some of the ones that they did that took a little while, but I don't see, when you see this open at 45, I wouldn't go too near this. Then again, as a money laundering scheme, it didn't move a lot of shares. Didn't move. I mean, 600. What was the volume on the first minute? It shows 600 something shares here. So it's not okay. 1,087 shares moved in the first minute. At 40. What do we say? An average of say 38, maybe 40. And you're talking about $40,000. That's not moving a lot of money. So where are they moving the money from here? Are they going to be able to pump a whole bunch of shares down? If you think that it's a money laundering scheme, clearly something weird is going on here. We have to see how much volume are they able to move throughout the day. I tend to think they're trying to move a significant, millions of shares. So if they're not moving those shares, then they'll try to pump it up again later and catch more day traders into this. but opening at 45 is not something that offers the same kind of sustainable run. If they'd opened this at 15, if they'd let some more shares out, then we would have seen volume come in as it halted up. Then it would have sort of baseline probably at around 20, 25 throughout the day while day traders flocked in, and then an end of day run. So on one hand, I'm still convinced there's some shenanigans going on. I still believe that money laundering is the best explanation. And I still believe that there will be stealth IPOs like SOPA that actually let us catch a ride. The magic number seems to be somewhere between I think UTME was like $11 and TIRX I think was 16. CPOP was something like 13 or so. SOPA, I believe, was 15.55, 15. I think it dipped to 15.01 before it popped up into halts. So those kind of like, I don't know, $10 to $15 off of $4 to $5 IPO. There's some room there, but when we see 20 plus, I don't think you can take the risk. We are definitely looking at a 30-minute, if not 3-hour halt. If we get a 3-hour halt, things start to get. TIRX was a 3-hour halt, and I'm not going to be here for 3 hours. So if we get a chance to see this live in, 10:30, I'll stick around for that. Otherwise, I think I'm going to probably shut this down by that point. Not a lot of people watching anyway, and I think the 14 people watching. Appreciate you guys showing up. Sorry this was a bit of a non-event. The powers that be did not want us to play in their playground, and the way it goes here. There is a lot of sellers dumping their shares. So, Univest is the underwriter of this IPO. I would be interested in getting a trading account with Univest, but my guess is they're not really giving out these shares. And if they do, you're going to be asked to take some garbage along the way. It tends to be what happens with some of these, as someone else pointed out. Someone else called these third world underwriters. I'm not sure that's an inapplicable term, but kind of tier 2 or even tier 3 underwriters that get these explosive plays, Bosted, Network One. From the information I've gleaned off of some people who have some exposure to those or access to those, they tell them, you're kind of told to take the trash and the good stuff. Take the trash if you want the good stuff. Take the good stuff and make your profits and try to not get killed on the trash. But if you had 1,000 shares of this and were able to, I guess you couldn't have sold more than that if you were the one guy who sold on the debut. But clearly, there were 6 million shares floated and not everybody sold right away, which is a little weird, considering that they clearly could have made more than this is probably going to close at the end of the day. But who knows? I'd be interested to have access to that kind of information. The fact is, you're not going to. Okay, here we go. Are we live yet? 3689? Nope, still nothing. We are waiting. Hopefully, just a few more minutes will give us a 30-minute halt, and that would be to buy the dip below 20, pump it up to 40 by the end of the day is another idea. We had a 30. I should not have even put one share. Should put one share just for fun. Okay, well, let's see here. Countdown. The halts usually are 10, 20, or 30 minutes. We have seen hour-long halts. We have seen 3-hour halts. TIRX went into a halt, and it was 3 hours. It opened at like 16 something, halted at 18 something, and then it just stayed on halt for the whole day. I thought they were going to delist the stock or something. It then opened at $49.99, and I had 1,000 shares and made like $33,000 on that trade. It was crazy. TRX then pulled back, and then for a few days, and then ran up to like 100, over 100. So you don't know with these. I don't know what's going on with these after the initial. Okay, are we live yet? No, still nothing. Getting Skype chats. Those are those little bloop bloops you hear. So just big. Yeah, I don't really know what the. Oh, sorry guys, I don't mean to show you my personal Skype stuff. Shit. Anyway, someone explained it before as the bigger the percentage change, the longer the halt. I don't know what determines these, and maybe I should do some more research, but clearly this is going to open way down. My guess now, someone's dumping 10,000 shares at 1949, so I'm guessing that gets filled. The buy orders over here don't add up to 10,000, so even below that, except that above that, maybe a little bit above that, but this is not going to be pretty. And we are now over a half hour, and still no open. And the next kind of bus stop for getting off of this trade is usually at an hour. So it's a long time to sit around in a trade. And I don't know. Just kind of filling time right now, looking over at my leaderboard. BBIG came back over $5. That was one I had been sitting in at about 490 from like 2 months ago. Sold it right before the end of the year at, I don't know, 3 something, just to harvest the taxes. Didn't know if it was ever going to come back, and there it is, kicking me in the shins as a kind of comeback play. We've got DWAC up 15%, up to 80 now. There's another dangerous play if you like speculative momentum stocks that might not be worth anything. MYNZ is up to 25. That one I took a loss on, then got a big win on, kind of broke even on that one. CDU up 10%. Screw you. Fun up 7%. So we're getting some action there. I'm gonna pull the. I'd like to show you guys Benzinga Pro for those of you who see me on Benzinga. This is Benzinga's main product. You want to see what it is the chat. I don't really like this very much, so I'm gonna close that. This is pretty much what I'm looking at with Benzinga Pro. They've got a pretty good scanner over here. I like to see what's been running during the day. This is especially helpful early in the morning. If you watch this from about 5 a.m. to 8 a.m. and compare, look at the main runners in the morning. A lot of times you'll see things that are up 15, 20%. Go check out the float. If you find a low float that's just started to run, there's a pretty good chance that if then go look up the headline, or open the ticker and Webull and check Twitter for the headlines. You can find some really golden opportunities here. The other part I like is this news feed. You can catch some pretty good opportunities here, especially the exclusives. nothing here is too juicy, but sometimes they get some really good ones here. Then we have the Squawk Box is pretty cool. This is something you can sort of leave on and then, open up other windows. And this will basically tweets out or like speaks out the, major news headlines. And you can catch some pretty good opportunities just with listening to the Squawk Box as it kind of chirps out the, the headlines. And Benzinga Pro is a pretty good system. I mean, it's relatively affordable compared to the a Bloomberg terminal. They don't have some of the they don't have like the Dow, or they don't have everything that Squawkbot or that Bloomberg has, but for a news aggregator with a strong screener, and you can do your own searches, get some pretty good information on stocks. So I like it. I do show up on their show every Monday or Tuesday, and they've helped promote IPO Warriors. I think a lot of you found me through them, but it's a good tool if you're looking for a good news source. I think it's somewhere around $1,000 a month or a year, and there goes a link on IPOwarriors.com. I get a referral credit if you sign up through that link. But check it out. You get there's a free trial period too, so you can try it out and see if you like it. Okay. So I think I'm going to wrap this up. Unfortunately, I have to do some other stuff today, and the the TKLF ticker seems to be frozen. I don't think anybody else jumped in. There's a buy order at 36.35 here. A sell order at 19.45 here for 10,000 shares. If I just visually add these up, they're close to 13.23. Add another 500, 14, 6, 3. So somewhere in here. But I guess that this is the block that sets the price. So I mean, we're looking at a $43 open into a halt down to 36 that looks like it wants to open at around 20. So that is what a stealth IPO that gets blown up before the doors open looks like. Not the first one that we've seen do this. It sort of feels like there was a time a year ago when stealth IPOs gave us an opportunity to play. Now it seems that opportunity has been more or less exhausted. They don't really want retail jumping in on the game, and one way to keep most of us out, the smart ones out, the non-crazy ones out, is to rip that price up to 45, 1,000%, over 1,000% from the IPO price. So the rationale for playing that is pretty much just to show how to get into a debut, maybe see if they do something different at some point. Maybe they will wreck those. But I'm going to say thanks everybody for showing up, and I will possibly do a live stream on Friday for Fgi and Smsa, but I'm not sure. I got to prepare for the Benzinga show at 12:30 Eastern time, and look forward to seeing those of you who join me there. Otherwise, good luck, guys. I'll be in the Reddit thread throughout the day, and keeping an eye on TKLF, but that was basically a disaster of a debut, and not really. Are they about to go? Oh, there it goes, 21.95. Okay, and I should be out of it by now. 22.41. So it took a good 200 yeah, about $500 loss there. That's what can happen. So yeah, it looks like it's halted back up at 24. Maybe I don't know. It's actually trading. All right, I'll stay on for a minute here. Let's watch this. Big spread. The halt will come one way or another, I would expect. 23, 25. It's getting boosted now. Okay, so we see this this number here, 10,000 at 25. Now it's coming back up. I would not suggest chasing, but we're seeing the price get pushed up and getting punished now for not staying in it, sort of. Okay. 25. Jesus. Just halted back up. Oops. That doesn't feel good. So what we're seeing now is perhaps the volume coming in. Maybe they shook people out, got rid of me. And I'm trying to find my Skype chat here. 1 second. Oh, man. Brutal. These are very unpredictable. I certainly showed that I can't predict them. At least once they start trading, it's day trading, and that's pretty tricky to call. The numbers now, I mean, that looked definitely like it was getting pushed up from that dip down to 20. The buy orders started coming in heavy right below the price, and the sellers are gone. Maybe they're not. Maybe they're balanced out. I kind of want to stay and see what happens here, but Skype is. I need to get to my Skype real quick. Task manager. My computer is not cooperating. Bear with me, folks. All right. Yeah, we do see the bounce halt come sometimes. Pretty tough one to time or play. Now we see the asks coming up to 25. People who bailed, and now we could see a reversal. I wouldn't go too heavily one way or another on this one. Maybe day traders come in and try to play this. I really wish we could get the same kind of crossing. I forget who it was or on what platform it was that we saw, that someone's able to see that balance indicator. But if anyone here remembers, please call that out, because that's something I need to get into. Okay, somebody asked over in Reddit about pets and compliance. First of all, it's a long path to getting booted for being under $1 a share. Generally, I think they get pretty much a sure thing if they request a waiver. That's like a 6-month waiver. Second thing that they can do is pets can offer a trade zero. Thank you. Pets can offer a reverse split. That'll be the easiest way to do it. With the reverse split, they simply go, okay, we need to get the share price over $1 a share. 10-for-1 split. The price is 45 cents. Now the price is $4.50. Now we're out of the compliance zone. So there's no. I would be more interested in knowing, well, how many of those warrants that had a strike price of those warrants that had a strike price of, was it $1.47? If those were all redeemed, it doesn't matter. If those have not been redeemed yet, well, then we have to assume that they're going to want to get that strike price up. I don't know how that works. If they can simply say, oh, well, after the reverse split, the warrants all stay the same. And now that the price is $4.50, those warrants are, golden. That would seem pretty weird. It seems like that would be not allowed. But if they do need to get we're assuming that insiders are manipulating this. Somebody dumped a ton of shares clearly, and shorts jumped on top of that. So if the insiders say, well, now we need to bring this up, and they still control a significant amount of the float, then maybe they manipulate it back up. If you are, I'm still holding I'm still holding what turned out to be a bigger position than I meant to re-add, even though I'm still way up on the trade, at about $1. So I would like to see it come back. I can't believe that I wasn't paying attention that morning. I have it on my, on my watch list every day. And for some reason, the day that it dipped, I was not paying attention. I didn't mean to be in it anymore. If you are still in it, I believe maybe the opportunity to sell covered calls has passed. There was a point right when it dropped when the premium was pretty juicy, and probably should have acted on that. The price points are like $2.50 or $5. So at this point, they're not really going to give you much yield. But there was an opportunity to get that there. Does anybody have a Trade Zero account? Andrew, do you have a Trade Zero account? And if so, can you see the the price at which TKLF is slated to exit from this Halts? Yeah. So yeah, someone just pointed out, my friend pointed out that the market cap is almost $1 billion on TKLF right now, which is pretty funny. It is one thing to recognize a stealth IPO. It's another thing to try to understand where there might be an opportunity to trade this. And I'm going to say that the risk reward at 25.98 is still not in your favor. So, got in on one hypothesis that maybe they do an AERC type pump on this, and that was based on the pretty small volume of shares in the pre-debut crossing. Although in retrospect, the AERC was literally like 10 or 20 shares being in the crossing, and it started at 60, came down to like 40, and then finally, went live. I got baited in a little bit here when they brought it down to 40, thinking, oh, maybe it makes a little move up, but to no avail. That was Webull's showing that it opened at 40 and then went to straight down, but E-Trade filled me at 43, which feels a little bit crappy, but whatever. We are just in Halt City on this one. I think I'll do one more halt here and then get out of here. Got 13 people. Thanks for joining. Showing 30.65. If this opens at 30.65, geez, this really could. If this dipped and then ripped, it would be the first time I really. If it got back above 40, it's the first time I've seen a stealth IPO that bombed. A stealth bomber that then flew later on. But there are not a lot of sell orders, not a lot of buy orders either, though. But if they do want to pump this, they can, and they certainly would have pretty clear skies to do that. The buy orders will just show up when they decide to pump it. I think that Yeah, maybe holding for that bounce and then selling out of that would have been a smarter move. Just kind of want to wash my hands of this though. So $100 here and there, not going to kill me. Let's see. Unity's back up. Sentinel one up 1%, 80.87% today. That's nice. Glad I didn't dump all that to try to play this today. Otherwise, what's not doing well? SOPA back down to 569. Pets down to 49 cents. Piece of garbage. DNMR down to $6. Array Technologies down to 12, 13. I like that company so much and did pretty well off the IPO, but they've just had supply issues. They got hit by steel prices. They keep doing share offerings to finance new deals. And long term, it's probably a great company, but I don't know where the bottom is on that one. And I've taken a couple wins on it and don't really want to get greedy. Now it's showing 32. This is going to be a really strong rebound. Showing 32 now. There's that big order there at 32. We see this here. 4,000 shares sale. It's, I still don't quite know how to, this makes no sense here to me. I will definitely have to get into Trade Zero to understand that. That's very valuable information, obviously. I can show. All right, NASCAR all out. You're getting the just learning how to use StreamYard a little bit here. So when you say something that I feel is adding value, I will feature your comments in the stream. 39.90. Wow. Thanks for calling these out. That is quite the reversal. I am impressed. If they run this up above 40, I'll be very, very surprised how much more time I want to give this. This is pretty interesting to me. 1040, 1050. Damn, we're getting another, looks like 20-minute halt back up. Crazy. Keep those coming, NASCAR, please. NASCAR all out. Yeah, I mean, I have no way to. I don't know how to make sense of that without seeing. There's no bids up there, and no sell orders all the way down here. So if I were to guess, I would be connecting what 8,000 buy orders at 26, 2,000 here. I would be looking at the sell and buy walls and averaging those out or something if I were trying to. 40 on the dot. Unbelievable. Oh. Sometimes these bounce, other times they fall down further. You don't get that initial move you like. You're really in a halt of death situation where you got to make a call. I failed to make that call on Sea-Doo, by the way, which is perhaps why I cut bait here. Wasn't going to get rich either way. Wasn't going to lose the house either. So let's see where this goes. I think we've got another 5 minutes, and then as compelling as this entertainment is, let's let's just go check out Trade Zero while we're doing this. Zero. Trade Zero. Commission-free trading. Trade Zero and Tune Corporation. Okay, whatever. Open an account. Okay, so I got to put $500 into it. Not today. C-do over 12. Well, good, but wasn't going to help me. I sold about over 12 anyway, and this would have been a long time to hold it. MYNZ over 25. BBIG up to 5. DATS running on the DWAC move. Tends to do that. There's a whole package of tickers that seem to move around DWAC, and as soon as DWAC moves, everybody kind of jumps into these other ones. I'm not trying to actively trade DWAC or the symbiotes, but yeah, that was a ridiculous opening. Thanks, Harry. Nothing we can really do with that. I decided to mess around with it just for no intelligent reason and put $1,000 into it, which I cut in half. And glad I didn't do more than that. Here we are sitting at a halt that, according to our man NASCAR All Out with the Trade Zero account, looks like it's about to open back up at 40. If this opens up at 40, it wouldn't surprise me. I'd like to see where it goes from there. Maybe this does rip at some point in the day. Maybe 40 is the magic number where they start selling it off. But we saw now about 42,000 shares move. Still nowhere close to the 6 million float. So if this is a money laundering scheme, they haven't moved that much. But clearly something odd going on. No doubt about it. Yeah, didn't want to get trapped in it. No, this was not a play. I mean, if we had seen something reasonable, my play was going to be to go in with 1,200 shares, something like this. That's how I've made some killer trades in the past on these, but this wasn't the setup for that kind of money. And you'd be having a panic/heart attack if you were sitting in that, through these halts with any significant amount of money in them. Trying to catch that first dip down, very risky play. Maybe it clearly would have paid off, but I don't. Overpaying the ass price, yes. Sorry, I got other chats going on here. Here. Would like to see one more. This is going to halt all day, so which way it's going to go, I don't know, but we have barely seen any volume yet, and whoever is controlling this is is deciding which way to go. Yep, complete insanity. 39. Well, 39. That's quite the premium from this. So that would be at least, I'd say, a 30-minute halt, maybe 40-minute halt again. Definitely when you're playing these stealth IPOs, either way, you're going to clear out. They might go live early. You don't sit around all day waiting for them to go live, but you sit around all day waiting for them to, open up these halts. And in some ways, it really makes you hate the halt system. There's a level of excitement when they're going up. You get time to kind of think about what you're going to do. But the patience required to play these is fairly intense, and brings back some great memories, a la TIRX, and brings back some nightmares, a la SIDU. But I was really I was bummed when they showed the opening bid at 45. You kind of knew that this was wrecked and not going to give us a real play. But one of the reasons we watch these is to learn for the future. We will undoubtedly see another. I mean, if FGI does debut on Friday, like we're expecting, it's a super low float. We don't know what it's going to do. I don't believe it's a stealth IPO. But so if it does get ruined or overbid, it will be just retail traders flocking to it. Could be wrong, but I don't think I am. This one, we smelled it. Okay, down to 35. Halts are good. Yeah, sometimes, except when they're not. Halts are volatility. Volatility is opportunity. You can't short these though. So with CDU, we've had the ultimate halt of death. It halted up. We are all thinking, great, and then it opened way down. So the problem with halts is you can't set stop losses. You can't even on E-Trade, you can't even set a stop loss once you're in a halt. You kind of have to decide, all right, am I going to get out at the halt, or am I going to get out, see what it does? And when you see what it does, you can get hurt even more if it halts down. Halts can go both ways, and if you trade kind of low float, momentum or volume, headlines, those halts often look great, especially if you're already in the position that halts up. You're excited. Of course, a lot of times you'll get two halts up, or you get a halt, it opens higher in the halt, and you have an opportunity to kind of set a stop loss at that point, and you're locking in big wins, and you start feeling like halts are really, are your friend. Halts can also be nightmares, and I've gotten out of some positions right before halts and then thought, oh man, I got out before the halt, and then they've opened down below, and I thought, ooh, dodged the bullet. So halts, they go both ways. But yeah, halts on the open generally we like, but in this case we don't. We wouldn't, or I didn't, whatever. So let's see what's going on in the Twitterverse. Why you even test your toe in water literacy? Why do you even do that other than Borman? Yeah. Oh, now it's at 31. I don't know. Someone asked me why did I even dip my toe in the water? Well, I don't know. Shit. Okay. So clearly this has come back up. It's not done yet. If you played this, or if you're playing this, good luck. I'm going to shut this down and get back into some other things. There's still a big spread, not a lot of volume. This is going to move around a bit. If you're a day trader who wants to take unnecessary risks on something that probably closes the week at like $5 or $6, good luck. When I see this here, those asks are dried up. I think this keeps going up. How high? I don't know. I don't know when that just gets sold off. At some point, someone's going to say, later, folks, and sell a big block of shares and drop this down. Does this go to 100 before then? Maybe. Does this go, fall out of the sky? Maybe. There's only been about 40,000 shares traded at this point. So, there's not, the volume is still in the hands of the IPO allocations. We don't know which way it's going to go. Those IPO allocations didn't seem to want to dump a whole lot at the beginning, but this movement is incredibly unpredictable. I think you got to be really careful. I think there's much safer trades out there today. The market's still way down. IINN is down at $3. Go pick up 1,000 shares of that or something. Other swing trades are on the table. Don't force yourself to try to milk this one if it doesn't give you a setup that you like. So thanks for joining me, guys. I'm going to sign off. I hope you've all had fun here, and I'll see you on the Benzinga appearance at 12:30 Eastern. That's about an hour and a half from now. So I got some stuff to do before then. Cheers.